Hello, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you all, to those who are in a good place in their life, as well as those who are not in as beneficial situations. My heart goes out to you all, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed, become a Patreon, or left words of encouragement on the channel. I only started this channel earlier this year, and I've been deeply humbled by all the feedback and support. 2022 will be a very exciting year for this channel, as well as the books I'm going to publish, so be sure to stay tuned. For this winter Christmas holiday episode, I want to talk briefly about the significance of this time of the year and how we can use it to move forward into the next year, more aligned with a reality that connects to the greater reality. By greater reality, I mean that I am pointing towards experiencing or being blessed by the most purest dimensions in our consciousness, in creation, even above the idea of God itself. As Lao Tzu said, the unnameable is the eternal reality. Naming is the origin of all particular things. So I'm talking about the origin, the source, and unifying ourselves with that. And to talk of this, I also feel I'm almost talking blasphemy, right? Just like how Jesus was accused of speaking blasphemy, and which is why he was put on the cross. You see, the government at that time felt threatened that he spoke of such things as if he were really a living God, but he was. And yet he also said to them, "Ye are gods," meaning that God was within them too, within all of us. That's a teaching from Jesus most churches won't go into. And it says in the original Hebrew translation of the Bible that Jesus said, "I am a son of God." He didn't say, "I am the son of God," such as in modern translations. Huios totheou in Greek means a son of God, and also son of in Hebrew means the nature of. So, in other words, Jesus was saying he has the nature of God, as does everyone else. Similarly, in the Bible, it also says, "Don't you know that you yourselves are God's temple, and that God's Spirit dwells in your midst?" So, Christmas, or Christ Mass, represents this cosmic event that can be performed within the hearts of each of us. This event of surrender of ourselves to the greater cosmic intelligence that lies within, to that consciousness that is all pervasive of all things. And through doing so, we no longer become a stranger in this universe, but instead we are deeply rooted and at one with it. But often at times we can't feel at one with it, which is why this video is dedicated to going through 3 very simple, crucial rules in order to cleanse the heart of its heaviness. These 3 rules are 3 major barriers that we all have, and by transcending them, we align and root ourselves more deeply on this path towards the divine. This includes helping us to more deeply comprehend the dimensions of reality too, such as the 5th dimension, the astral. In fact, as we open ourselves up within, we open up lines of multidimensional consciousness, multidimensional communication. In other words, our intuition. where the intelligence of higher dimensions of consciousness can flow in. Remember that dimensions of consciousness or dimensions are not just locations or places here and there, but they are levels of consciousness that can be accessed when we are open. But it's only accessed and it only flows when we are free from the three barriers which we'll look at here. And there's no better way to go into 2022 with these basic but often challenging principles. So, step 1, forgive others. Think about your entire life now, from the moment you were born, and think of all the people who have done you wrong, all the people who have ever hurt you, judged you, said something cruel, did something violent. Perhaps someone did something that most people would consider unforgivable. Think of all the people you hate, spite, or often feel negatively towards. Perhaps someone left you, said something behind your back, betrayed you in some way. Now, sense all of the judgment, fear, hate, and sadness that comes with it all. And now see the attachment to the idea of these people and experiences that exist within the consciousness of you as an individual. See these people in your mind's eye. See a cord attached from your energy to their energy. And now say to them all mentally, I forgive you. Allow yourself to fully embrace forgiveness. Forgive all people. All people. Don't discriminate. Don't judge. All people. As it says in the Lord's Prayer, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Allow yourself to be freed from these connections which bound you to lower worlds, lower dreams, lower states of consciousness. You should call upon your spiritual strength to sense the rigidity of your own psychological and physiological responses to those you may have a harder time forgiving. Be aware of the energy that you have placed on these ideas and reclaim them back. Send them light and then cut the attachment to free yourself from old ties, old patterns, old reactions. Forgiveness frees the heart. Do not wait for apologies. Do not try to rationalize why you should forgive. Simply let go. Let go of regrets. Let go of burdens. Let go of the weight of hatred in your heart and free your spirit. The understanding of why you do it comes after you have truly let go, through sensing the inner peace and freedom that arises from doing so. At first, you may think this only applies to really bad things that have happened, but it also applies to strangers that pass us on the streets. We may think and feel about certain people, have little judgments about people here and there. Perhaps someone bumped into us and we were in a bad mood. Forgive all people. So, step number 2, forgive yourself. After forgiving others, the next step is also to forgive yourself. Forgive those parts of yourself that allowed you to experience transgressions and suffering in the first place. Sense any guilt or lack of self-worth and forgive yourself. Sense any conflict deep within, any voices that argue with you often and say things like, I can't do this, I can't go on, this is too hard, I'm just not good enough, I've done too much harm in the past. Go into these voices with a fresh perspective. What is your relationship with yourself? Everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes are some of the best lessons of all. It's what deepens this experience of being human. So you have all the reason in the world to forgive yourself. They say time is a great healer, but the choice to forgive is even more powerful. Forgive and be at peace within yourself. Step 3, let go of personal history. In the same way you forgave other people and let them go, you can also let go of yourself. Do not wallow in the idea of your personal history. Let go. Let go of your past self and the negative reactions from your past self. Do not identify with your past. The past is not you. They are memories, illusions, nothing more. They do not exist in direct reality. If you have pain from your past, great. Learn from it, and then let it all go. If we believe that we are the ideas of the past, then how can we move forward? How can there be space for our deeper self to manifest? Expansion of the heart cannot occur if the heart carries a heavy burden of the past. Instead, it only perpetuates more of the same. And you might ask, what am I if I am not my past? Well, why is there the compulsion to know in the first place? Let go. Truly let go. Be comfortable with the idea that you and your future is an ineffable mystery. Just as the universe is a great mystery, so too are you. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you begin to understand the mystery at a core level. Not at an intellectual level, but at a core level of intelligence. As the spiritual man that Einstein himself was once said, the most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. Life is a mystery, not a problem waiting to be solved. By letting go of the past, we tune into what is commonly called the higher self or future self. Get in touch with this, visualize, intuit, feel what your future self will be, what it is, what it should be, what you want it to be in your heart, and sense the pull towards it. Start informing yourself from the future you. Stop informing yourself from the past you. Take comfort in the mystery of yourself. Don't desperately try to seek for labels and ideas to add to yourself. Being lost is how we find ourselves. Sow the seeds now for what direction you'd like to move towards, so that one day down the line, You will be more attracted to situations, states of being, and realizations that are more aligned with who you are meant to be at your core, the more self-realized version of you. Liberate yourself from personal history. Memories are just ideas, thought forms in your consciousness, which you can either choose to give life to or choose to be free from. The past should never condition or limit your future, whether in this life or the next. Whatever experience you've had up to now, you are not that. Do not identify with that. Meditate on the symbol of the crucifix, since it is Christmas. Die to your past so that you may be reborn anew. Die to every moment so that the presence of fullness makes no room for the past. And so, as you see, by sending unconditional love and forgiveness towards those and ourselves who are in fear and darkness, especially to those who have done us wrong, we also, in the process, free ourselves and give us the opportunity to expand into deeper levels of awareness. Forgiveness is a tremendously high form of magic, which gives life to miracles in our experience. Forgiveness is so crucial because it seemingly miraculously dissolves dreams, attachments, personal hallucinations of reality that do not coincide with your future reality, with your greater reality that's waiting for you. Does the past ever progress? No. Does the past ever change? No. Can we change it? No. That is why it is said that hell is the eternal suffering of the soul. Because as long as you are attached to it, to the pain of the past, nothing will change. It only perpetuates itself until you choose to let it go. Not intellectually, but in your heart, in your core. True freedom is radical freedom, meaning that we make a radical choice to be free. In other words, we don't half-heartedly choose who we forgive or be fickle and choose when to forgive. We become forgiving beings at our core, and we use this conviction like a flaming sword whenever we meet obstacles in our path. And every time we do, our presence grows in love. Not mundane love, but divine love, where harmony and beauty are much more common to be seen in our daily experience, and of course goes and flows deeply into our practices of spirituality and self-growth. So, if you want to continue this sort of contemplation into a deeper meditation, I'll be doing a guided meditation in a few days, which will guide you through doing these 3 steps in a visual way so that we can all continue and progress into 2022 with more love, compassion, and expansion than we've ever experienced before, both as individuals and as a collective. There is always infinite potential for greater awakening every day, in every moment. This is something we all have to realize deeply, and all paths, all spiritual paths, slowly lead to this gradual, constant growth of being deeply rooted in our present moment and escaping the labyrinth of our noisy mind, the matrix of the mind. So, Peace be with you all on this holiday, everyone. Assalamualaikum, alaikum shalom.